Crafting writing prompts for the following: narrative, imaginative, expository, and persuasive. So the first one is narrative. Narrative, according to Susan M. Buchart and Anthony J. Nitko, narrative is something that really happened. When writing a narrative essay, one might think of it as telling a story. So here's an example. Think of one tragic event that you considered as one and that happened to you in the past. Maybe it happened inside your homes, in the school, or any places you have been. So now, write an essay that narrates what happened and make sure to supply specific details that support why this was a tragic event for you, so that your classmates understand your feelings as you tell the whole details of the said event that happened in your life. Next is imaginative. According to Susan M. Buchart and Anthony J. Nitko, imaginative is something that did not happen or could not happen. It is basically an essay based on fiction, where you are required to put your imaginary skills or thoughts in a logical order. So, example: you are a person who dislikes animals. One day, you went to the woods and you suddenly found out that you can communicate with all the animals. You even hear them say a word to you, and they are talking to you. What would you do if you suddenly found yourself able to communicate with animals? Would you listen to them even though you dislike animals the most? What do you think the animals would say to you? Now, write a story that we can put into your portfolios that tells what will the animals say to you when you are able to communicate with all the animals. Be sure to give specific details about what would be your life if you are able to communicate with animals and what possible things that the animals may share to you. Next is the expository. Expository, according to Susan M. Buchart and Anthony J. Nitko, expository is an explanation with details. So the essay must provide a clear, focused explanation and in a concise manner of a particular topic. So in today's era, a lot of people used illegal drugs. Now I want you to think about one illegal drug that was used a lot by users. Now, write an essay that explains how this illegal drug affects one's life and the lives of other people if this continued. Be sure to explain the topic clearly and carefully so that your classmates reading your explanation can understand what you are writing. The last one is the persuasive. Persuasive, according to Susan M. Buchart and Anthony J. Nitko, persuasive convinces the reader of a point of view. This attempts to persuade a reader to adopt a certain point of view. So I have here an example. You have a classmate that almost every day drinks and eat a lot of soft drinks and unhealthy foods just like junk foods. And your teacher is aware of it. And now, your teacher wants you to convince your classmate to stop drinking soft drinks and eat junk foods every day. Instead, eat those moderately and infrequently. Now, what will you do to convince your classmate in a nice way, and that could not hurt your classmate as you try to convince him? Now I want you to write an essay on how will you convince your classmates about this behavior towards taking unhealthy foods. Explain why his behavior towards taking unhealthy foods more often is not good. And I want you to give reasons to support your position and beliefs.